Hello, welcome to the video. Something a bit different this morning. Beautiful morning. We're having a bit of a rodeo. We're going to gather a few cows up and get them in and shift a few about here and there. There they are. What about that for a view? They were 360. So that's where we are. Well, I headed the right way anyway so far. It's gone well so far. Just got to get them over the road now. Hopefully they'll know where they're going and go straight in. Well, that's them all in. That bit went fairly well. So hope the rest of the day goes as well. Yeah, the plan is to get these few in with the others and then take the whole lot along the road. Some new ground for them. That's the plan anyway. Well, that was going well until this lot behind me decided to break out of the pen. So we've got cows and calves all over the place now. Some in there, and some in here. Never mind, bit of a rodeo. There they are, happy in their new home. Out on the prairie. Well, that's all the cows moved. In the last video I said I was making a frame to fasten a Discovery TD5 body to so that we can underseal it. Let's go and see how that's getting on, eh? There it is, stood on its end. And it's been there all night, hasn't fallen over yet. Let's see what it's like when it's windy though. Alright, what have we got? Right, there's our framework. You can see it for the sun. All the way up there. Let's, yeah, bolted on there. And bolted on at the front. Yeah, seems to be working so far. So I'll get it pressure washed, get it all cleaned up and underseal it. It's not my job, I just made the frame. There you have it. Meanwhile, back in the workshop, we have this little John Deere 324 mower in for repair. Belongs to a friend of ours, and he asked us if we could fit a new bearing on the end of that conditioner there. But when we've had a look at it, there's nothing wrong with the bearing. The problem is in the pulley. It's supposed to fit on that spline shaft, and if you can get a look inside, you can see that inside there aren't any splines left. So what can we do with it? Apparently you can't get these anymore. You've got to spend 350 quid and get this fancy two-part pulley. I'll just show you down here. But because these splines are really worn and they're all burred over, the new pulley doesn't fit on the splines. so I'm not going to be able to use it. Now this machine is 20 years old and it doesn't do much work. It only cuts about 20-30 acres a year, so it's not going to be cost effective. I put a new shaft in there for that conditioner. So I'm going to have a go at welding the old one on. Try and get some weld around here. And that's not without its problems. Apart from being awkward to weld, it means that if I want to replace that bearing in there at any time, this is going to have to come off. But since I'm only welding around the end, I'll be able to grind that off if I need to and weld it back on. That's assuming that it's going to work in the first place. But I think we'll get some gear out and get set up and give it a go. What could possibly go wrong? There's a welder set up, ready to go. I've wound a bolt into the end of that shaft just so I can get the earth clamp on and we're not earthing through the bearing. And I've disconnected the tractor because we don't want any electricity flowing back through the confuser. It would probably be alright, but it's just not worth the risk. So let's give it a go. Well, I've got a bit of crow shit on it anyway, so it's not the prettiest of welding jobs I've done, but it doesn't have to be, does it? It just has to stay on. So we'll let that cool down and get the covers back on. And that'll do for that job, hopefully. So while that's outside cooling down, I've got the Scotpen back in the workshop. I'll get a bit more work done on it. For those of you who don't know, due to pilot error, I had it coming together with a telegraph pole, and as a result I've had to make a couple of the new outriggers and a new axle. But true to form, the old hubs don't fit the new suspension units and the old wheels don't fit the new hubs. So it's new hubs and rims as well as a new axle. And I've got a slight problem in that the mudguard doesn't fit quite because the holes don't line up. Those holes there don't line up. So I'm going to have to do something with that. I've got a box of new holes somewhere, so if I put a couple in there, a couple of brand new holes in, we should be able to get those back on and get it up and running at last. So fast forward a couple of days and the pissy wet weather's back again, but we've got the new tyres on, the mud guards on, and that's a Scotpen nearly ready to go. I found some new holes for the mud guards there, so I'll put them on. But what we're going to do is, there's only a couple of bolts hold this axle on and 2 bolts on each of these outriggers, so we're going to take those off and send it away and get it galvanised, along with a lot of other bits and bobs we've got laid about. I made a new ladder there for the shit spreader, so that can go and get galvanised. And I'm making a downcomer to catch all the rainwater running off this workshop roof. So that can go and get galvanised as well. So that's the drain pipe finished, and the mower's been collected. That's gone back to work. So we'll see how long that lasts. I don't have much faith in it really, but it'll either work or it doesn't. And we've got the latest project here. Number 1 customer's dropped his trailer off. It would appear that he's had a slight mishap. There you go. The wheel fell off and the drum, the whole lot. So we'll get that in the workshop tomorrow and then make a start on that. There's all sorts of new bits arrived with it, so what we've got there, bearings, new hub, brake drum, brake pads, brake cables, so that should keep me entertained for a while. And on that note, I'll make that do for this video. So if you like it, give it a thumbs up and I'll see you in the next one.